From man to Superman. The animal is a living laboratory in which nature has, it is said, worked out man. Man himself may well be a thinking and living laboratory in whom and with whose conscious cooperation she wills to work out the Superman, the God. The step from man towards Superman is the next approaching achievement in the Earth's evolution. There lies our destiny and the liberating key to our aspiring but troubled and limited human existence. Inevitable because it is at once the intention of the inner spirit and the logic of nature's process. Contemporary crisis. At present, mankind is undergoing an evolutionary crisis in which is concealed a choice of its destiny. For a stage has been reached in which the human mind has achieved in certain directions an enormous development, while in others it stands arrested and bewildered and can no longer find its way. A life of unity, mutuality, and harmony, born of a deeper and wider truth of our being, is the only truth of life that can successfully replace the imperfect mental constructions of the past. It is such a change and such a reshaping of life for which humanity is blindly beginning to seek, now more and more, with a sense that its very existence depends upon finding the way. Oneness. The bliss of a myriad myriads who are one. All this is Brahman immortal, naught else. Brahman is in front of us, Brahman behind us, to the south of us and to the north of us, and below us and above us. It stretches everywhere. All this is Brahman alone, all this magnificent universe. Upanishad. Revolution of the atoms. I was very little when I was told that everything was atoms. They said, "You see this table? You think it's a table. It's solid and it's wood, but it's only atoms moving around." I remember the first time I heard that, it caused a kind of revolution in my head, coupled with the feeling of the complete unreality of all appearances. All at once I said, "But if it's like that, then nothing is true." The Mother. The path of yoga. The mother made this drawing to explain to a child the meaning of yoga. Man is at the bottom, the divine at the top. The wavy line is the path of the ordinary life. The straight line is the path of yoga. The secret lies in matter. The supreme height touches the most material matter. All the splendors one can experience by going up, by getting out, by leaving, are nothing. They are nothing. They don't have that concrete reality. They seem vague compared to here. That is truly why the world has been created. It's in terrestrial matter, on earth, that the Supreme becomes perfect. The Absolute is everywhere. The Absolute is everywhere. Every finite is an infinite. In every particle, atom, molecule, cell of matter, here lives hidden and works unknown all the omniscience of the eternal and all the omnipotence of the infinite. Sri Aurobindo and the Mother are not only the explorers of consciousness, they are the builders of a new world. After exploring the outermost frontiers of worlds not unknown to ancient wisdom, they discovered another world, as yet unmapped, which they called supramental, and which they sought to pull down upon earth. For the supramental brings a decisive change in the evolution of the earth consciousness. In fact, it is the change of consciousness that will have the power to transform our material world, and to do so as thoroughly and lastingly as, and hopefully better than, the mind did when it first appeared in matter. Their yoga, the integral yoga, leads to a supramental yoga, or yoga of terrestrial transformation. All life is yoga. In the spiritual tradition, the body has been regarded as an obstacle, incapable of spiritualization or transmutation, and a heavy weight holding the soul to earthly nature and preventing its ascent either to spiritual fulfillment in the Supreme or to the dissolution of its individual being in the Supreme. But if a total transformation of the being is our aim, a transformation of the body must be an indispensable part of it. Without that, no full divine life on earth is possible. Sri Aurobindo, Mother's work on her body. The work consists, I could say, in either removing or transforming all the body's cells that are or have been under the influence of falsehood, of the state contrary to the divine. But since probably a radical purge or transformation would have resulted in nothing but the body's dissolution, the work goes on in stages. progressively. First, supramental manifestation. This evening, the Divine Presence, concrete and material, was there present amongst you. I had a form of living gold, bigger than the universe, and I was facing a huge and massive golden door which separated the world from the divine. As I looked at the door, I knew and willed in a single movement of consciousness that the time has come, and lifting with both hands a mighty golden hammer, I struck one blow. One single blow on the door, and the door was shattered to pieces. Then the supramental light and force and consciousness rushed down upon earth in an uninterrupted flow. 29th February 1956. The Mother. Supramental life. I was on a huge boat, which was a symbolic representation of the place where people who are destined for the supramental life are trained. The boat itself was made of a supramental substance. The light was a mixture of gold and red, forming a uniform substance of a luminous orange. The atmosphere was full of joy, calm, order. Everything went on regularly and in silence. On the boat, the nature of objects was not the one we know on earth. For instance, clothes were not made of cloth, and what looked like cloth was not manufactured. It formed a part of the body. It was made of the same substance, which took different forms. Life created its own forms. The Mother. At the very bottom of the hardest, most rigid, narrowest, and most asphyxiating unconsciousness, I struck upon an almighty spring that cast me up forthright into a formless, limitless, vast, vibrating with the seeds of a new world. A new world is born. This could be a continuation with an improvement, a widening of the old world as it was. But what has happened, the really new thing, is that a new world is born. It is not the old one transforming itself. It is a new world which is born. And we are right in the midst of this period of transition, where the two are entangled, where the other still persists, all-powerful and entirely dominating the ordinary consciousness, but where the new one is quietly slipping in, still very modest, unnoticed to the extent that outwardly it doesn't disturb anything very much for the time being, and that in the consciousness of most people it is even altogether imperceptible. And yet it is working, growing, until it is strong enough to assert itself visibly. The Mother, a divine force. A divine force shall flow through tissue and cell, and take the charge of breath and speech and act. And all the thoughts shall be a glow of suns, and every feeling a celestial thrill. A sudden bliss shall run through every limb, and nature with a mightier presence fill. Thus shall the earth open to divinity, and common natures feel the wide uplift. Illumine common acts with the Spirit's ray, and meet the deity in common things. Nature shall live to manifest secret God. The Spirit shall take up the human play. This earthly life become the life divine. Sri Aurobindo. The work is done. It was the formidable pulsations of the eternal, stupendous love, only love. Each pulsation of the love was carrying the universe further in its manifestation. This was going on and on and on and on. The heavens are ringing with chants of victory, and the certitude that what is to be done is done, and the supramental manifestation is realized. You see, it's not as if this world of truth has to be created from scratch. It is all ready. It is here, like a lining of our own. Everything is here. Everything is here. Just a little click would be enough. The sun-eyed children. I saw them cross the twilight of an age. The sun-eyed children of a marvelous dawn. The massive barrier breakers of the world. The architects of immortality. Into the fallen human sphere they came. Faces that wore the immortal's glory still. Voices that communed still with the thoughts of God. Bodies made beautiful by the Spirit's light, carrying the magic word, the mystic fire, carrying the Dionysian cup of joy.
Hey guys, good afternoon. It's a good afternoon indeed. It's been brilliant. The first half today, chatting with Ben. He's a newcomer at Auroville, so he's going to spend a year before he decides and converts into a full-time Aurovillian. Although he has the certitude that he will join them, he will still wait that duration. So I'm currently at the cafe here in the visitor center, and I've ordered some Korean food. I've got tuna gimbap. This is really uncharted territory for me, and I'm using chopsticks. These are metal ones that I have no clue how to hold or use, but I'll still try. It'll be fun. Let me start with the kimchi. Dip it in that sesame oil. That's got a kick to it. I see some other tofu based sauce on the side. I probably have to dip the gimbap in that. That is very nice. It's wrapped with seaweed. There's rice inside, some sesame, some beans, carrots, and some pickle, along with tuna, of course.